Well, hello, lovely people, and welcome to another video. I have not been here in a while, and there is a reason for it. It's definitely not something that I wanted. Although I'll be honest with you guys, I don't necessarily enjoy the editing process. I just wish that I could just do silly things on the internet and it just magically looks good, but that's not the case. But anyways, if you guys are new here, my name is Riva. I do art from time to time. And recently I've gotten into tattooing, but today we're going to do a draw with me, and I want to let you guys know what I've been up to for these past several months if anybody's interested. So today I'm also going to be talking about my recent apprenticeship experience. This would be the second time that I've apprenticed in about 4 years, and honest to goodness, I'm feeling like it's the absolute last time that I'll be doing that. It hasn't been a very good experience for me, and I'm not even gonna blame the people in the shop. I'm not gonna blame the shop. I've realized that a lot of it's me. Before that, like how I got into all of this, I was just working in my very mundane weed delivering job. I made decent amounts of money. It was a cool job, very easy. I just, it's a job, and it wasn't fulfilling for me. So I knew that I wanted to get back into tattooing, and I was saving up money from that job so that I could, apprentice without having to be in debt. And the fact that I live in Mexico makes it a lot easier for me to save money and all that stuff. So I was able to save a good amount of money about a year. So the manager of the previous shop that I worked at kind of hit me up and was like, this place is hiring and they're looking for an apprentice, and she wanted me to go and interview. So that's what I did, and I ended up getting the job. This apprenticeship, in comparison to the previous one, was a much less toxic environment, I would say, and it was a lot easier, and I kind of knew, for the most part, I knew what was more expected of me this time around. It just didn't work out, which kind of sucks, but I'm not gonna get down about it. It is what it is. I started apprenticing sometime towards the end of last year. I think it was like October or something like that, and it was a decent experience. I will say that this shop had way more people than the previous shop, and that was too many for me then. And like this time around, it had like 2 different shop locations, which I had to rotate between, and about 26 artists that, I had to kind of get to know. And if you're going to learn or know anything about me, it is the fact that I am ultra introverted, man, and I do like to be by myself from time to time, not like a complete isolation, but by myself. And real quick, by the way, in this video, I'm just drawing a couple, fiery balls. I don't know. I just woke up this morning and was like, let me draw some balls on fire. The panther in the beginning of the video, was inspiration for doing the rest of these designs. And I'm just going to fill up a whole page full of things on fire. And, my first thought was screaming balls of fire. And so we ended up with like a basketball. That's kind of what I had in my mind. Basketball on fire, flaming, heated up, burning, real nice for you. It's like, yeah, man, screaming balls. Where can you go wrong? Screaming balls on fire is just, I think it was something that needed to be put out there in the world, if nothing else was put out there, screaming balls on fire. And I know a lot of people can relate to that. So yeah, balls on fire. Anyways, back to my story, which I kind of lost a little bit of a point, but I guess I didn't really get anywhere. But anyways, apprenticing, the vibes were different at these 2 locations, and my introversion was just like, I can only talk to so many people a day. I can only talk so much a day before I'm just like completely exhausted and really want you out of my face. And that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound very good at all. I realize that I'm not the most peoply person in the world. It's not that I don't like people. I like people in small amounts. That's the thing. I want friends. I want to hang out, you know what I mean? But like sitting there and being in your face and for hours and hours, all day long. Like I was there for 10 hours a day, cleaning, stocking, drawing. And, not that the thing is, there were some people that it was easy for me. Some people it's just, I feel naturally more comfortable around and I have an easier time talking to. Now that is super freaking rare. But majority of people, it takes a long period of time, or I just simply don't feel comfortable talking to you at all. And so I avoid you. And that was kind of the case, you know what I mean? So, these two different shop locations had completely different vibes to them. One was just like a lot more easygoing, laid back, much more open and bright, and like it was even in the way that the shops looked. One shop was a much more traditional shop and the other shop was just kind of more open, laid back. It was a bigger space. Everybody there was happy, laughing, smiling, most of the time you came in there. And the other shop location where I had the issues, where eventually was the reason why I got fired, the other location was just dark. It was a more traditional vibe. Like a lot of the artists were kind of moody, they drink and smoke a lot and stuff like that. So it just altogether wasn't really my vibe. Now, that's not to say that the people couldn't have been really good people, but right off the bat, they didn't give like the most inviting, open kind of thing. And, I suppose that's something I really shouldn't expect. You should, I don't know, this environment, this industry, it's not regulated. Whatever happens. People aren't expected to be nice to you, especially since you are the apprentice. There's a definite hierarchy. Hopefully I'm saying that right. There's a definite hierarchy. Yeah, I don't know, something like that. I don't know words right now. Hierarchy. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah. But anyways, you're the bottom bitch. You know what I mean? And you can't step out of line. You can't say the wrong thing. You can't, fuck up too many times, And yeah, I essentially fucked up too many times, which was like a couple times. But for the most part, I had a pretty good experience there. I learned a lot more. This was going to be a quicker apprenticeship. Like I would have been able to finish within a year, honestly, if I had just, I'm not even going to get down on myself, but looking back, it can be a little frustrating, feeling like, you messed up an opportunity. But then there's a different perspective where you have to kind of be like, well, whatever is meant for me is going to be meant for me. So if I'm not there, then it just means that I wasn't supposed to be there. Now I did take a learning lesson from this, but real quick, let me just tell you what happened. So I've explained the vibes of both of the shops, and of course at the shop that was more open and people like happier and stuff like that, like I got along a little bit better. Like that's not to say that I was a social butterfly, because I was not. Still very quiet, still very introverted, but like people weren't intimidating to talk to. So I probably had more connections with people there than I did for sure at the other shop. I was very to myself when I was there. I had a lot of anxiety going to this other shop. I really wanted to maintain my mental and emotional energy. So I kind of just did my work and stayed to myself, and I drew. And, when you do things like that in these types of environments, you really don't get any sort of connection. How could I expect any sort of connections? And this pretty much was the exact same thing that happened to me with the first apprenticeship. To be fair, that environment was a little bit more toxic. People were like intentionally ignoring me and shit like that. And the other apprentice, we had a whole not liking each other kind of thing going on. So it wasn't, a very good beginning. But, this time around, at least with one half of the shop, I had a better potential of success. So just to explain the situation real quick, there were two instances, all that happened within about a 2-week period of time, that led to me being fired. The first instance was when I didn't let a tattooer know that his client was there in a timely fashion. And there's really no real excuse, I suppose. But I thought I was trying to, I was doing something else. Like, somebody else had come in to do their drop. There was a guest artist that came in to do their drop. And I could have sworn that the guy wasn't there. That his client that had come in right before this other guy who was doing his drop came in and sat down. I could have sworn he wasn't there for that very long of a time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this guy's drop real quick to get his money put away, and then I'll go tell the guy. And that was mistake number one. Well, technically, that mistake was because he was kind of raised his voice, and, the tattooer, when he came, was very upset that I didn't tell him that his client was there in a timely fashion. And the real issue was when I had asked him for feedback later on, because they were all they had a little meeting or whatever, and talked to the manager about all the mistakes that I was making, mostly related to communication. And then they brought up an instance that had happened where I didn't set up his station in the most timely manner as well, because I was setting somebody else up, because I could see that their client was going to be here sooner than the other person. But anyways, I was trying to explain what I was doing, but to him it was no excuse and all this other stuff, and he just kind of got upset and thinking that he's like, why are you trying to argue with me, blah blah blah. Okay, well, whatever. I was just trying to explain. There's no explanation in this realm of things. The tattooer is right, you are wrong, that is it, in this type of situation. So he was very upset with me over that, and he didn't want me at the shop for 2 weeks, which was, in my mind, fine, because I preferred to be at the location anyways. But when I had come back, I was like, okay, let me apologize, whether I think I was right or wrong. And, maybe I was in the wrong in this instance, no talk back, no, he's right, I'm wrong, whatever. And that's what I did. I apologized, and it was, a little bit better, just trying to be a little bit more open. But I was trying to be a little bit more of myself that day, and be more free, because I gotten all this feedback, and I didn't want to keep fucking up. But later on in that same freaking day, when I had come back, I had asked the tattooer there, who I rarely saw often. He wasn't there very frequently, at least not when I was there. I asked him, could I watch him tattooing? And his response was nope. And I was like, dang, that's fucked up. I said it in a joking manner. I was smiling. I honest to goodness thought he was joking at the same time. And this is something, and I suppose that we should have had some sort of repartee beforehand or whatever. But this is something that I frequently say to people who are making fun of me, that make a joke. My friends, they shit on me all the time, or say something that might seem offensive or whatever, just to kind of dog me a little bit. And I thought that was kind of what he was doing. I had worked with this guy previously at the previous shop, and honest to goodness, I could never tell when this man was joking. I could never, ever, 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 ever tell when he was joking. So I guess, a lot of that came back around. I thought he was joking then. He wasn't. He got very pissed about that. I was like, oh, I'm a super nice guy, but if you said this to anybody else, you'd be going just like that. And I was like, I apologized then and there. And he was like, you know what? Water under the bridge, all this stuff. I want you to learn tattooing. I saw your work, you're whatever. I want you to learn. It's not that I don't want you to learn right now, just not right now, whatever. And I was like, okay. But a couple days later, boom, I was gone. And I don't know what else could have added on top of that. But I wasn't connecting with people. And then I said, those couple of things, those couple of situations is what really kind of fucked everything up. But yeah, most of it was just like, I feel like if I had connected with people a lot more, like the little insignificant things, because, when I was being let go, the boss was even like, it's just these little things, he called them little things. And that's what they are. Just, my communication isn't always the best, and their communication wasn't necessarily the best, but it's, they're already artists in the shop. And, I'm the apprentice. I'm the one who has to kind of fit into this environment. So my skills have to be on par. I don't know. Just wanted to say that, mostly this one individual who just kind of like walked around like the big bad ugly, and had this whole intimidating vibe, and it was kind of moody, kind of very moody. And like, I just, there's just some people who I don't know how to be myself around, and they don't have a very open like vibe and energy. Like I really never really knew the energy that anybody was going to be on when I went there. And I'm not the only person who thought that. There's some other people who definitely thought that they were kind of moody, and that's kind of hard for me to really navigate. And I have my own moods, and it just didn't work out. And that's, that's okay. That's absolutely fine. I don't fit into every single environment. I'm not going to like everybody. Everybody's not going to like me, that's for sure. And it is what it is, and what it would always be. Well, no, that's not true. I can change myself. Like, it's just such a coin flip, I've really met some people, and right off the bat, it just felt so comfortable, just naturally being myself, even in just initial interactions with people. I feel like they're not going to judge me. And this is, I'm going to say a lot of my experience at this shop was just, it was a lot of me, a lot of me being in my head, a lot of me not being able to be myself, a lot of me, I think, interpreting their outward appearance and emotional state and letting that dictate how I am. But I also think it was kind of reverse, I heard that, it was maybe a few people thought that I didn't care, but it's just that, I'm just really to myself. And that was the problem. So I can own it. That if I was a little bit better at communication and was a little bit more open, maybe it would have worked out. Or maybe not. Maybe it was just simply that environment that I couldn't be in. Now, that's one thing is I don't really know how to do, or I'm not really good at, is kissing ass and people pleasing. So that was another huge part of it. And in this industry, when there's a hierarchy, you definitely need to kiss a little ass. You definitely need to be a people pleaser. I mean, one of the other apprentices told me that they had to kiss a lot of ass to, to get kind of people to like them. And when the vibe is just weird, I'm just to myself. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It is what it is. But I did, learn that besides a lot of the tattooing information that I got from this experience, so like I said, it was moving a lot faster than the other ones. I was actually on fake skin, and within like month 3, about month 3, I was on fake skin. I have got to be myself. I have really got to be myself. I have got to figure out a way to find the confidence to be just 100% the weirdo that I am. I'm pretty awkward. I need to own it. I say a lot of dumb things. I find myself restraining a lot and overthinking a lot of the things that I want to say, and just kind of like my personality, because I'm in a majority white environment, is very constrained anyway. Like, I don't know. I never want anybody to get the, the negative perception that, like, I don't know, I'm ghetto. I don't know why that's something that just kind of plays in the back of my mind. And, coming out here in San Diego, it's not a lot of black people. I don't get the opportunity to just be my most natural self. I curse a lot, and I'm trying to not even just kind of recording this conversation. I'm constraining myself to some small degree. I have a hard time just really kind of being very comfortable in my own skin. And so that's something that, again, I recognize I need to work on. And moving forward, and by the way, I've decided to just kind of go the self-taught route, and I've been up and down about that for the past couple months. I've been teaching myself. I've been learning, and I have recorded videos of me tattooing. In the beginning sucks, but it's gotten better. And I've been teaching myself and been going that route. The scary thing is, it's a lot of people in the tattoo community that are just gonna shun me. That's always in the back of my mind. And also the fact that, because I live at TJ, a lot of people are able to start out of their homes, and I don't have that luxury because I'm across the border, and most of my clients, because I don't speak Spanish, are going to be in San Diego, and so I have to find a space to be able to tattoo out of. And that's just another thing that I have to figure out. And I think I've asked a couple artists about their opinions, and no one for the most part recommends being self-taught, although I have met a couple artists in that shop that are self-taught. But that's what I've decided to do. So I'm recording videos, and I don't like to edit them, but I plan on posting things. And I really just want to get to the point where I can, come on YouTube and, you really see every ounce of my personality, even the uncontrolled, curse a lot version, because that's really who I am. And that's, part of the reason why I'm coming back to YouTube and putting out more videos. And also, I want to share this entire journey. I think this is a little bit of motivation to be more accountable. I'm putting this information out there, saying that I'm going to do it. I have it in my mind that I'm going to do it. I've decided that I'm going to do it. And I just kind of got to get over this thinking portion of it, because I think way too freaking much. I overthink everything. And what I need to get into my mind is, because I've seen several people, I've reached out to some people who are self-taught artists. If they can do it, so can I. If they can fucking do it, so can I. And I know this journey is gonna request a lot of me, mostly having to do with confidence, something I've never been the best at. But it's gonna require me to be a much more confident individual. Yeah, to be patient with myself, to trust myself, and to move forward, despite the fear lingering in the back of my mind. Besides, my main goal is really just I feel like I can get hired at a shop. My main goal is just to build a portfolio right now of tattoos to get hired at a shop, build up a good enough portfolio to get hired at a shop. That's the goal. But who knows, that could change along the way. Anyways, I'll be tattooing myself pretty soon. I got a bunch of videos to release before then, but you'll see me tattooing myself, and we'll see what that turns out like. And if anybody's listening to this and somehow you're magically in San Diego, we can be magically there together at the same time, except for I have a tattoo machine in my hand and you have it in your leg or arm or something like that. I think we could work that out. I think that would be a nice, good getting to know each other kind of a time, don't you think? What better way to get to know someone when they're jamming a needle in you? I feel like it's the most open we shall ever be together. So, nothing is happening immediately. I want to be patient. I want to take my time with everything. I want to kind of get all the facts and stuff. I have kind of put out the feelers for looking at a shop or a location rather to tattoo out of. because I want to have a professional looking environment. You know what I mean? I want people to come in and get tattooed and be like, yeah, I want to come back to this place. You know, I want it to look like a little dirty hobo, you know, somewhere people sleep. You know, no. So I got to figure that out. But that's what's happening right now. I mean, I think that's pretty much everything about that experience. Like I said, I did realize, to recap, I realized that a lot of the situations that I've been in has been my inability to really just kind of be myself and accept myself, you know? When I'm not comfortable, it's like talking to a brick wall, and I recognize that, and that's not fun. But when I'm very comfortable, I'm a silly weirdo, quirky and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I definitely have my periods where I still like to be to myself and, you know, just kind of chill by myself. But if I'm very comfortable around you, you'll see some things. And I want to show you all some things. I want to show you all a lot of things. I hope that didn't sound sexual. But back to this video that I've been talking over. Hopefully you've been enjoying it so far. It's nearing the end of it. I'm screaming balls, you know. Screaming balls. These were actually really fun to do. The one with the tiniest teeth, I have to like change those up if I want to tattoo those. I did tattoo the other one. I shaded that one off camera. The first one that I drew, I shaded that one off camera, and I'll show you that end result at the end. But I do like both of these. Like I said, this one, if I wanted to tattoo this, I would have to make the teeth a little bit bigger. It's something I learned whilst being at the shop, you know what I mean? Came out with some sort of information. But these were really fun to do. And I plan on doing hopefully some more cool drawings in the future. That is the goal, to be here more and to share more. And I also just want to do some things that don't relate to drawing at all, because I just want to be a silly person. And it sucks that I feel like I can only be that way either when I'm at home or when no one's watching, you know. No, that's kind of the same thing. When I'm at home and no one's watching, or when I'm comfortable around somebody. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. There are more videos to come as soon as I decide to edit those videos. And yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. I want to take you guys on the journey with me, and because I'm definitely gonna need the encouragement for sure. I expect a little bit of backlash from somebody. There's always somebody out there looking to do something, say something not so sexy. But I'm excited about the journey. I'm also nervous about the journey, because I do go up and down with, you know, having faith in myself. Like, there are moments when I'm like, it's calm inside, it's still inside. I'm like, yes, man, I got this. I can do this. Other people can freaking do it. I can too. And that's, you know, that's honest to goodness the truth. And then there are moments I'm like, you know, this is crazy. This is ridiculous. This is a big risk. What am I doing? You know, how am I going to get clients? But I think, you know, I just need a few people to start, and you could be one of those people. Yeah, just work my way up a little bit at a time. I'm not expecting like to have 200 clients, you know, in a few months. That's ridiculous. But I'm going to keep drawing. I'm going to keep making content for you guys. And hopefully we get to know each other by the end of this thing. If you have any sort of questions or anything at all for me, please leave them below in the comment section. I shall respond to you. Hopefully you enjoyed this draw with me experience and talk with me or listen to me experience. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you get these tattooed on you? Would you get something similar to this? Would you let me tattoo you? You know? So many things I want to know. Yes, so leave any questions or comments or anything you have to say below. I look forward to hearing from you. And I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing, wonderful rest of your day. Life is hard. Inflation is high. We're all getting a little bit broker. But hey, what can you do? Try to live every moment of every day like it's your last. Have fun, appreciate it, live in the moment. I'm learning to do that myself. Anyways, talk to the whole end of this video. Thought it was going to be much shorter, but I hope you guys have a beautiful day. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.